Okay, guys, so tomorrow is actually going to be our last day that we observe our grass. And then we're going to take a look back at our hypothesis that we made at the beginning to see if we were right or if we were wrong, and which one was actually the best, which one was probably not the best. So second to last day of observations today. Take out that page and write the date in this box here. So we're actually not going to end up using all of the boxes. There were just some extras in there just in case. So 427, let's look at potting soil. It's still growing like crazy. So long at this point, like so long. And yeah, I mean, it looks pretty healthy, right? Okay, and here's our sand. It's still growing pretty well. It's not nearly as long, but it's doing a good job. It filled in quite a bit. If you take a look at that, there's not a whole lot of bald spots. And here's our clay. Again, clay is doing really well. And now I have watered these every single day. Take a look at what happened to our rocks. Womp, 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 right? It's not looking good. The one night I went to bed and it was looking a little bit floppy, like we've been seeing. And when I woke up in the morning, this is what I found. It looks pretty lame, huh? And I bet you tomorrow it is going to look even worse. So I think that this grass, it's dying. I think pretty soon it's going to be brown and yucky. So the rocky soil, it grew pretty fast at first, right? But it wasn't very good for a long time. So make sure you write that down. All right, and so now we're going to move on to our lesson. I'm going to put these over to the side. And today we're going to talk about where water gathers. So when it rains, we talked in the very beginning about like when I sprayed that cup of soil and we saw how many squirts there were to get a puddle. Well, we know that when it rains that there's puddles in certain places, but that there are other spots that don't have puddles, right? That's what makes jumping in puddles so fun, because you're standing outside of a puddle and then you jump into it. So today we're going to talk about like when it rains, where do the puddles go? Where does the water go? And in a bigger picture, not just in puddles even, but like in lakes. So where do lakes typically form? Lakes are basically gigantic puddles, right? So in my box, I have soil, rocks, a ton of acorns that were just like all around outside. There's some little sticks in here. So I tried to make it look like a hill, right? Do you guys see how this side is higher than that side? And we are going to simulate rain. So I'm going to pretend that it's raining using some bath toys. So I don't know which one's going to work better, so I'm going to try them both. But we're going to take a look at where the water tends to settle. So like when it's raining and then it stops, where is there more water? So here comes the rain. And it's raining and raining. I wet this before, so it shouldn't take too long for it to start getting really, really full of water. In fact, we're already getting some puddles. I don't know if you guys can see with the camera, but I'm going to show you in a second. So I have it raining, and I'm doing my best to like make sure it's raining over here and down here, and I think we're good now. Let's take a look at where we see most of the water. So do you guys see down here? This is like pretty deep. It's very, very wet. Maybe we can look at the side too. Do you guys see? That is all water. But up here, I mean, this stuff, it's wet, but it's not, there's no puddles up on this side. All the water really went down here. So, the water went down to, let me put my camera back so I can talk to you guys. Okay. So our water traveled down to lower ground because it used gravity to fall down my little mountain. And so typically when you see a puddle, it's because that spot might be a little bit lower than the ground around it. Or in a much bigger case, if we're talking about a lake, lakes tend to be pretty low. There's something higher above it, and water is running down, let's say a hill or a mountain, into that big hole basically, and filling it to become a lake. And so that is how puddles and lakes and you know, everything in between, right? Like ponds and all that stuff, that's how they're formed, because water tends to flow down. And so even like if you're going camping and you're camping at a mountain, where do you want to put your tent? Do you want to put your tent at the bottom of a hill or up at the top? You want to put your tent up at the top, right? Because when it rains, the water is going to go down and you'll be okay. You might be a little wet, but you're not going to be in a pool, right? So water always flows down. It uses gravity to go down. So that's all you need to know for today. I hope you guys like my little experiment. I'll see you guys later.